Awesome. So Night Without a Bed is now an annual event where we bring about awareness through social media to the problem of family homelessness and the hidden nature that it entails. Um, we are so excited. So last year we started off with a pillow fight, and I just really like to reminisce. And it's not quite Thursday yet, so we can't throw back Thursday, but let's go ahead and watch the pillow fight from last year to remember, how things were last year.
Oh.
I like how you're doing it in slow-mo.
Uh-oh.
Awesome. So yes, that's just a throwback to last year and the pillow fight we started virtually due to the pandemic. One of the things that's really excited is amidst the pandemic, we still had a lot of blessings happen in the last year since this last event. Our first and foremost one being our Clayton Home giveaway. And we actually have a few words here from Cameron that I would love to share. So this is Cameron and her two little kiddos who were gifted the Clayton Home manufactured home. And so she wrote to us saying, I want to take a moment to tell you how thankful I am to have received the Clayton Home and for everything the shelter has done for me and my children while living there. Receiving the call and being told I was accepted into the Family Promise shelter was one of the most nerve-wracking feelings I've ever felt. Not knowing what a blessing staying in the shelter would be, it is an experience I would not take back, and was a life-changing experience for being a young mom. The saying, you grow through what you go through, comes to mind because I became stronger and more determined to give my kids the life they deserved. And Family Promise helped me to fulfill that. As difficult as the time was for me, it was a blessing in disguise. And little did I know I would be given a home for me and my kids. My children were ecstatic to have a room already full of toys and with new beds. It's not just that we have a new home, but with the environment, we feel completely safe and have neighbors that are happy to say hello and tell me about the neighborhood. Everything has been coming along great in and outside this beautiful home. I think my kids most enjoy running around the house and making all the noise they can with all the space. I'm excited to see where else the new city and home will take us. It was such a blessing to be a part of this and to have it happen in the midst of a pandemic when people were losing their homes. To give somebody a home was such an incredible thing. Another blessing was, since this is Night Without a Bed, we really wanted to talk a lot about the beds that Cameron received were actually 2 beds from Ashley Furniture, who donated 25 beds for kiddos so that they can bring those to their new homes. And so they helped us to give beds to kids who needed them. Another blessing was IKEA actually was able to come and help us. They donated a ton of furniture to us in order to be able to furnish our new program. which Ted will tell you more about later. It was so beautiful how they were able to do it and how they were able to set everything up. And one of the things that was my favorite was the room where the kids were going to be able to get to play. So are you guys seeing the IKEA furniture right now? Yeah, okay, cool. It usually has a green box around it and it doesn't right now. Okay. So was the area for the kids to be able to play so that they had space where then mom and dad could hang out and look for jobs and take care of business, but while the kiddos got to have some fun. And it was just gorgeous what IKEA was able to do to actually open doors for more families to come into our shelter. And one of our last blessings that happened this year was we actually began to do prevention, diversion, and move-in work. Through some grants that we received and funding. And through that, we were actually able to help 49 families. With the 49 families were 100 children. And it only cost us an average of $243 per child to be able to keep them in their homes and in their beds. So that was one of the most exciting things. So we're here for a purpose. We're here because we're giving up our beds to share with others where we're going to be sleeping. So I want to see where everybody's sleeping tonight. One of the things that I had to do was I had to wait until I go home to sleep in my bed, but I wanted to be able to show you guys through my virtual background. So I'll be sleeping on my couch by my dog crate, which my dogs, when they dream, if you have dogs, you know what happens when they dream and they make noises and stuff. So they're going to be my companions tonight. I'll get to hear all their dreams and listen to them, their scratching paws and running around in their dreams and stuff. So let's see where else everybody's going to be sleeping. I'm going to start with Ambria. Ask to unmute. There we go.
There we go.
Hold on, let me replace the spotlight. There we go. Hey, Ambria.
Hi. Well, my couch is behind me. You can't really see unless I don't know, go like this. I'm just going to sleep on the floor, basically. Oh, there we go. That works. Yeah, I've actually slept here 2 or 3 nights at least already this month, just because I was extremely exhausted, kind of worn out from a little bit of anxiety, just thinking about some small worries, and was so exhausted I was able to sleep here just on the floor. No pillow, definitely no pillow, nothing, no blankets, just on the bare floor or carpet, and minimal blankets. But it just kind of reminded me that there's a lot of our families come to us way more exhausted than that, mentally exhausted with far bigger problems, and they're just so grateful to be able to either sleep on an air mattress with nice bedding at our host congregations, or on those bunk beds that we saw.
Awesome. Thank you, Ambria, for sharing. I appreciate that. I'm going to put my mom on the spot next since she's visiting with us here. Let me go ahead and put you on spotlight, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Thank you. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm going to be sleeping on my couch. I don't know if you can see it, but and I'm just going to use one of the throw pillows so that it's not as comfortable as if I had my own pillow, to kind of feel really what they must feel like when they're just couch surfing from house to house before they maybe even get to you. I want to unite in my physical body with their struggles, and I just hope that that those that do this will be inspired to give more money. After last year, I actually started giving to you guys monthly, so hopefully we'll get some others inspired to do that and keep supporting this great program. I tell people, we have a real homeless problem in our town because, I'm not actually in Arizona. And it's a really bad homeless problem. And people are always saying, oh, why can't they do anything about it? And it's like, you guys are really doing something about it. and helping the people that really need the help and want the help and should have the help, because there's little children that need a bed. They need security. They need to be raised like that. So I hope, that you guys raise lots of money. I'm going to keep promoting this so that more money comes your way, because that helps everybody, and awareness.
I appreciate you, Mom. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm going to hop on over to Ted and his little cutie pie dog. Hold on.
Come here, Annie. Well, thank you, Dina. I'm so glad to be joining you tonight. Annie and I, my new little Annie, she's a Sealyham Terrier. We're going to be sleeping on the floor. Her house is actually right back here, so you can see the little mesh. She sleeps in there every night. It has an open top, so she can stare at us. But I'm going to sleep on the floor here next to her in celebration of the supporters who help us do what we do. But I'm especially struck tonight with Annie with me, because I can honestly tell you that I can't imagine the pain of ever having to give up a pet in order to have a place to stay, a safe place for my family. So the idea that I get to sleep on the floor with my pet, realizing the challenges that other families face who have pets when they lose their homes, what a heartbreaking situation that would be. So Annie and I are in solidarity for all those families who could have shelter with their pets at Family Promise, still the only family shelter in the Valley who welcomes pets with their families. So I'll probably have a little trouble sleeping because she's gonna bother me most of the night. But the truth is that nothing is like what our families are going through. And the fact that I can do it voluntarily, knowing that there's those that do it involuntarily, and many who have felt to give up their pets. So Molly and I are here tonight in solidarity with all of those who help us at Family Promise, all of those joining us at Night Without a Bed. Thank you on behalf of Annie and I both.
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate that. And I'm going to go to Keith. Hi, Keith. How's it going? I think you're muted still, Keith.
There we
There
go.
you
Is
go.
that better?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keith, and I'm planning to sleep here on an easy chair where I often watch TV or a movie. And my wife reminds me that I fall asleep here with some regularity anyway. However, I did sleep here last year in solidarity with Night Without a Bed, and realize I just can't imagine being homeless and traveling, to someone else's home, sleeping there for a few nights, maybe, or a week, and then having to move again. I have to use a CPAP when I sleep for my sleep apnea. So I've got that set up over here, ready to go. A couple things I remember from last year was just thinking about the inconveniences of lights, that I'm not used to, because the bedroom is kind of set up for a sleeping place, and family rooms and living rooms, kitchens are not. And then I also have 2 teenage daughters, older teenagers, so they don't have the same sleeping habits, so they come home later or want to get something out of the kitchen and have to walk right by this easy chair. So I'm just reminded of inconveniences, and actually have great appreciation for the conveniences of having a home and having a bedroom, that's specified for sleeping. And so I just feel a lot of empathy for families that have to go without that. Thanks.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. So now I'm going to actually go on over to Kathy, and I'm going to have her share a little bit more about tonight.
Okay, Kathy's going to be sleeping on the couch tonight, but she's coming to you from her office. But I just wanted to kind of mention a couple of things. Tonight, those of us who have chosen to give up our beds may be facing an uncomfortable night's sleep for one night, but it is only one night. So we're tossing and turning tonight. I want to give you a couple of little things to think about, things that should really keep us awake. 24,000 children in Arizona who are experiencing homelessness have no idea where they will sleep tonight. And this is an every night occurrence for them. And it's no fairy tale. You know, in a fairy tale, Goldilocks, she had choices: a bed that was too soft, a bed that was too hard, and then finally one that was just right. But for those children dealing with homelessness, it's no bed. At best, it's a friend's couch, the back seat of a car. At worst, it's outdoors, exposed to the elements, those 118-degree temperatures that we experienced this week. So it's a dangerous situation. So when we come together to raise awareness or to donate to a program like Night Without Bed, what we're clearly saying is this is not acceptable. We can do better. We must do better. We want no child should ever have to fear not having a place to sleep, a place to dream, a place to feel safe. And that's within our control to ensure that those things don't have to happen. So I ask you, each of you, to consider using your big, bold voices tonight to help us bring awareness to this situation, to support us in whatever way you're comfortable, whether it's sleeping without your bed, posting something to your social media, making a donation to Family Promise, so that every child who comes through our gates, who sleeps in one of our beds, who is safe for that night, who plays on our playgrounds, that they enjoy the fairy tale ending, the one which we all dream about, of hope, of peace, of joy. You know the one, and they lived happily ever after. So let's be uncomfortable tonight, but let's be uncomfortable every night. Let's not allow this situation to stand. In December of 2020, more than 10.1 million households were behind on their rent. For many, that eviction moratorium was a lifesaver, but that's coming to an end at the end of this month. And we have to be aware what's going to happen to those families, to those children who will conceivably be out on the street and will be looking for a place to stay. And over 106,000 children were identified in HUD's point in time count in January of 2021. Now let's remember this. That's not a good number, but it's not the worst number. The worst number would be if they had counted those children who are living on couches, who are living in cars, and who are doubled up with friends or family. So I say to you, I quote it all the time, shouldn't it be looking back at the end that you judge your own race by the help that you've been? So take what's inside you and make big, bold choices. And for those who can't speak for themselves, use bold voices. And make friends and love well. Bring art to this place and make the world better for the whole human race. Thank you. We appreciate each and every one of you, and you make our work just a joy every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. And now actually we wanted to give Ted an opportunity to talk about the future and what that holds in a direct response to the moratorium ending and all of these families that are going to be displaced soon, and what we specifically at Family Promise are going to try to do to help with that situation.
So first, I want to thank the programs team at Family Promise, because I think during COVID, when things were so confusing and difficult, I guess they still are to some degree, our team actually expanded programming. And specifically, they made the decision to begin trying to prevent families who had lost their homes from having to go into shelter. It was an amazing expansion, something we had never really done. It required us to raise money during the pandemic for this purpose. It required us to change the way we address families that we work with on the idea that since the shelters are full, is there a way that we can help them to avoid having to go into shelter by assisting with rent or electricity, or maybe even resolving a family situation? So I'm so proud of our programs team for the work that they have done. But I'm even more excited about what the future holds for Family Promise when it comes to prevention. We actually secured the funding for 2 full years of prevention work. I think it's a blessing from the donors that help us, who believe deeply in the work that we do, and also the cost effectiveness of prevention. So we are fully engaged long-term in prevention work. But I do want to explain something about prevention. Family Promise is a hand up, not a hand out type of organization, which means that our prevention money comes with strings attached. We want to make sure that the family has the cash flow to sustain the solution that we're going to help them with. We want to make sure they have some skin in the game. So we're very careful about the way we deploy prevention. And our experience has been that the families are all in. They love the idea that if we'll share our resources together, that we can resolve a problem like having to go into shelter. And we all know, certainly in the shelter business, we know that shelter is traumatic. So if we can keep that family in their home, there's no better way to address homelessness than bringing families back to sustainability. So I'm so pleased to report that our future will be filled with prevention work, that our teams are gearing up to handle this upcoming and pending snowball of evictions. We're already experiencing some of that, even though the moratorium has not been raised. But again, we're being very careful, and we're doing it full platform, which means we have 4 sites across the valley. We're doing it in both of our South Scottsdale locations, in Mesa and in Glendale. So I'm just really tickled that that is a part of our future, something with that prior to the pandemic we had not been doing. Secondly, I'd like to address some of our expansion work that I think has a lot to do with not only what COVID brought to our attention, but also what the community really needs. One of those is that we have created at our new headquarters site, shelter on site that we call static site shelter. And the reason it's important that our audience knows this, our supporters know this, is it gives congregations, clubs, service groups the ability to host our families for a week at a time at our South Scottsdale location. We have the facility. They don't have to have the facility. We have the ability to serve the meals there, which is what we like for our families, and the families can sleep there. So they don't have to sleep at a congregation. We had to do this in part because COVID had given us too much risk to go to congregations at the moment. So we decided we'd create this internal capability. So we've been sheltering families at our Earl location in South Scottsdale through most of the pandemic, and also continuing into the future. In addition to that, our Glendale location, we've done something that really I believe is the first time ever done in the Valley. We have partnered with the largest single person shelter system within Maricopa County, and that's Central Arizona Shelter Services, commonly known as CAS. We've partnered with them, as well as about 15 other partners, to form a coalition to have a wraparound solution for homelessness in the West Valley. So we are going to be that family solution for homelessness and also assisting with prevention in Glendale. And our plan this year is to double our capacity with that partnership in Glendale. So we'll move from about 38 families to somewhere in the area of 75 or 80 families this year in Glendale as a part of our expansion efforts. So excited about that. And I think the future for Family Promise is bright and strong because our congregations are coming back. They're hosting again. We have 2 full congregational networks operating at this point and aspiring to the 3rd to reopen. So I guess I always like to end first by giving glory to God for the amazing model that Family Promise is and the amazing journey that I've been gifted with over these years. And second of all, to thank all of you for the blessing of support that you have given us over the years to be strong and to grow, and also the continued support to share awareness, as Christina said, in the Valley. We want people to know about us. We don't want to be the best kept secret. We want to be known because there are so many more families that need shelter. So thank you all, and God bless you all for what you're doing.
Thanks, Ted. I appreciate that. I just wanted to finish off by letting you all know how much we've raised so far, and we are just over 26,000 in donations. So yay! Thank you for all of you who helped make this possible, who donated yourself and gave up your bed. I appreciate all of you and your abilities to get the word out and to share. I also want to continue to raise awareness. So after this is over, if you can share this on your social media. I'm going to cut it down to make sure that we don't have too much dead air so that we can get it nice and shared. But we really want to continue to raise awareness because the more real solutions that we have, the closer we will be to every child having a roof over their head, a hot meal, a warm bed, and most importantly, for someone to know that they care. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing here. And I'm just going to go to bed now. Okay, good night. All right, everybody. Take care. We'll see you around.